I can do the posting.
Good evening, everybody. It's another Wednesday night here with Australasian Sim Racing, and we're here for round one of the OZTAC Mans Midgets series. And oh boy, have we got a show for you this time around. I'm Chris Riddell, and with me, as always, Michael Zalavari. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Chris. Welcome to the Le Mans Midgets. I've been so excited for this for like 6 months, so it's so good to finally be able to talk about some Le Mans Midget cars. I'm so excited. Chris, you excited?
Oh, I'm incredibly excited. Oh, God. This goes back to the 60s, to one of the golden eras of Le Mans sports cars. And the most good about this, multi-class racing in miniature form. We've got three classes on track. And oh boy, have we got a hell of a track for round one.
Yeah, we're going deep into the archives with this one. We've got not only Le Mans cars from the 60s, we're also going to some old world sports car tracks from the 60s. So we're starting off tonight at the Grand Premiero do Brasil, the old Interlagos circuit from 1976, I believe is the correct year.
Yes.
So in these cars, back in the day, they'd be doing lap times in the low 2 minutes, but with the midgets, we'll talk a bit more about the midgets and how that all works. They're doing lap times out in the 3 minutes, so some glorious, glorious long laps that we've got to contend with. And look at that, how's that for a circuit?
Yeah, lots of full throttle. No Senna S because Ayrton Senna hadn't been born yet. So the lap starts with curve 1 and curve 2, long straight to curve 3. Imaginative folk, the Brazilians.
That's true.
And then you back around the second of the lakes that you go into the Lagoses. And then you hit some of the corners we do know. Curva de Sol and Laranja.
The only corner we know, apparently.
Yeah. No, I've got it up here. And then you make your way back around the final stretch. And then over the hill to start a lap. So as you mentioned, about 3 minutes. These guys, the Class A cars, have been doing 3 minutes too. And so for the slowest car in Class C is 3 minutes 18, and that's Turbo. So a bit of a spread, and because it's such a long lap with 20-minute races on for tonight, it's going to be 7-8 lap races.
Yeah, going to be real short in terms of laps, but the thing that's going to be super interesting about this format is the slipstream is going to be paramount for these cars. They're basically formatted like big go-karts, or shrunk versions of the sports cars of the 60s. So we'll see some beautiful looking machines, some homages to some old cars, but the slipstream effect, especially from the exit of Subdia du boxes, I think I've got that. But basically, when you get through down to what's the modern main straight, you're just going to be like full power. It's going to be back to the first TCAC race we ever commentated, Kiwi, where it was the old front wheel drive cars, and we had what was it, 6 wide across the line in race 2.
That's very possible here. You've got a lot of time to slipstream. And we should mention as well, this is the first of many historical tracks we go to, and some tracks where you're just going, why are we doing this? Later on, we have Le Mans Bugatti, and we have some really...
We have Macau as well.
I was going to say Macau, because why not? We've done
Do we have a graphic for the full season? Can we show that?
No,
to
we
the
don't,
fans?
unfortunately.
We don't? Okay, well, I will list them off real quickly. So tonight we are at Interlagos. Next week we're doing a race at the Monza Florio. So that's the modern version of the circuit. We are at Macau in a fortnight's time after that, March 10th. Then we are at Sebring, another classic race of the 60s.
Which you love.
We'll go to... Pardon?
Which you love, Sebring.
We'll talk about Sebring when we get to Sebring. I have mixed feelings about Sebring. It'd be great in these cars though. We stay in America for the week after. Go to VIR at Grand West. That'll be a monster in these cars. Damn.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Back in Europe at the beginning of April to go to Brands Hatch GP, a storied racetrack at Brands Hatch, especially in these cars. Imola after that. Then Le Mans Bugatti, as you said, Mendig Flugplatz, which is a circuit I'm not too familiar with. And then we finish it all off on May 26th at the Australasian from 1974. So very wide variety of racetracks, but importantly, racetracks with a lot of history behind them as well.
Yes, and it's very fitting. And some of the liveries these guys have cooked up, we've got some classic liveries, some modern liveries, and some classic liveries with quite the twist. And we look forward to showing those off over the coming weeks. And you and I, sports cars fans, we are going to love this series, love talking about it, and get you excited for what's going to be a fantastic series of racing.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I've put in a little work. Together we put in a little bit of work to try and share some of the stories of Le Mans and of sports cars throughout history. So we'll talk a bit more about that when we get to our next round next week at where are we next week again? I've already forgotten.
Monza Florio, which is
Monza, yep.
Which is a bit, for those who don't know, is a bit of Monza that we know and a bit of the banking.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So we're putting some work together to share some of our favourite stories and some of the important stories in sports cars. So hopefully we are able to share some of our knowledge with you and you get a lot of use out of it. But for now, we're about to start our first qualifying session of this new series.
Indeed we are. Qualifying for the series will be 15 minutes. All cars on track at once. And with the nature of it being multi-class, there's going to be a lot going on. We'll do our best to keep up with it. Live timing is going to be an absolute godsend here. So if you've got a second screen or anything access to live timing, amsoz.liveraces.com, and you can follow along with us as we get ready to go for this 15-minute session.
So we'll just have a brief chat about the classes and the cars as we are coming up to the start of this session. So as we mentioned, 3 separate classes. We have a Class A, which is at about 155 horsepower. Class B at about 130 horsepower, and then Class C at about 113 horsepower. That might not sound like much, but then you remember that these cars are about 500 kilos each. Yep. When you look at the midgets. And they are based around the old Prototype 5, Sports 5, and Prototype 3 classes of the late 60s and early 70s.
Yep.
So as we get on track, we'll pick apart which cars are which, and we'll show you what we've got.
Yep, I've just tried to jump on board with Brian Walsh. He can give us a bit of a guided lap around here. Just coming through from bumper cam, coming through to turn 3. The GT40. Oh, what a car that was.
Yes, importantly, this is the GT40 Mark 1, so that's why it's a Class B car. And by the way, for those watching at home, you can differentiate between the 3 classes by the colours of the crosses on the headlights and on the number panels. So, as we look at Brock Harvey, did you say we were?
We're Brian Walsh. I've got
Brian
everyone on
Walsh.
screen now looking back at his headlights. Bit of yellow tape on the headlights.
Yep, so that's Class B is yellow. Just next to him at the moment, Cam Rutledge engineering car is Cam Rutledge, and he has green tape indicating that his Matra Sim car is a Class C car.
And I've gone to Cracker, who's a Class A car with the blue headlights.
Yeah, so there you go. So blue headlights is A, yellow is B, and C is green. So they're what you're looking out for. Cracker at the moment is driving the Porsche 917 LH. Beautiful looking car, and in his Cracker livery as per usual. One of 3 Class A cars, so each class has 3 cars. So Class A has the Porsche 917, the Ferrari F12S.
Sorry to interrupt, we just saw the 00 Class A car absolutely bin it coming through one of the fast corners. Don't know who that was.
That's Nathan Higginson in the Equip Higginson Engineering number 00. He's driving the Lola T70 Mark II.
Yep,
So
absolutely
that's
binned it.
the Chevrolet powered one.
As we're just getting close to starting that. With 3-minute lap, you have a long time before anyone even comes around.
It's given us a long time to talk, hasn't it?
It has. In fact, I mean, the leading car at the moment, Cam Rutledge, is just coming through Sector 2 now.
So that is Cam Rutledge driving the Matra Sim car. That is the...
There he is.
Which one is that one? That's the MS 650 is the Matra. Beautiful looking cars, the Matra. Did end up taking the Le Mans victory later on at the hands of, I believe, Henry Pescarolo, who was one of the guest drivers, the guest bots. If you've managed to download this mod, all of the drivers in the cars, or the AI drivers, have names of the drivers who would have driven these cars in a period correct. So it's we did put a little bit of effort into making it feel like a Le Mans series as Rutledge comes up to the new pit straight, I think.
Yep, he's just coming around the final corners now. And he's going to come over the hill and start his lap in about 5 seconds' time. There he goes, just coming across the final corner. And away we go.
So here we go, the very, very long lap of historic Interlagos. Big banked turn 1. Just a little breath on the power for Cam as he comes through here.
Yep, the lower cars.
A little breath through turn 2.
The lower class cars will probably be maintaining 180, 190 through there.
Or Cam's actually hit 200 just on the exit of that as we come down the big long back straight through to curve 3.
As we just saw a GT40 get it all wrong through turn 2.
Braking very nicely. These cars, of course, are very light, so you can afford to throw them around a little bit as we cut back up through Junção into the infield section. And we're wrapping around one of the lakes here as we turn to the right, it looks like. Yeah,
it's a little right-hand kink before a tricky hairpin. Actually, quite a tricky braking zone, that one I found in testing. There we go. So 50.7 to the first sector. We have a 49.1 from... You're going to have to tell me who that was.
49.1 from Steve Bolger, who's driving... Oh, it's gonna take us a little while to get our heads around who's driving what and where and which class. Steve Bolger is in the Porsche 917, so that's an A-class car, so a bit stronger there. Mm-hmm. He's been matched by Will Devonish as Cam Rutledge just runs it a little wide on the exit there. Now, Will Devonish, true to form, is in a B-class car and is setting lap times rivaling the A-class cars, because of course he is, because this is what Will does.
Yep. And our best C-Class car to the moment looks like it may have been...
It is in fact still Cam Rutledge.
It is Cam Rutledge,
surprising
yes.
that the underpowered C-Class cars are still doing so well to the first sector. They're only lost... Well, Cam's only down about a second and a half as he runs very wide now. So
straight through the catch fencing. That's going to ruin that lap. And he's just been passed by the B Tic Tac machine, which is a very historic livery.
It's a beautiful looking livery, and that is in fact Steve Bolger. You can see the beautiful name over the top of his head. We'll jump on with him now as he's coming through to the second sector mark.
203.1.
That's just in. Pardon? Yeah, 203. So long sectors here, but that is just in the infield section that we know and love in the modern Interlagos.
Yep, he's purple by a fair way as well. So this could very well be the pole sitting lap from Class A.
The thing is as well that he's purple because not a lot of other people have set laps, but he is the only one with a 113 middle sector at this stage as he comes up through the penultimate corner, pardon me.
Other times of note, Will Devonish was 114.3 in the second sector. Ooh, Steve Bolger's a bit squirrely, but he saved it. The number 87 Tic Tac Porsche coming through the final section now. It's pretty much flat from here.
Absolutely. So Bolger's ramping up the pace, already up to 200 k's per hour, 210 and 215 as he crossed the line. That's the first benchmarker, 203.6.
302.
8 seconds quicker than Cam Rutledge.
That's an impressive time, actually. I think that's the fastest we've seen all day so far.
From Bolger, yes, it is. It is, in fact, faster than anyone has gone so far tonight. Will Devonish slots into second, actually, with a 203.3.
Yes,
he is in the Ferrari 312 is what he's got. Sponsored by Rob Harvey Motors.
Yes, of course it is. And look at the car, hit him. The pink pig.
Ah, yes, the beautiful pink pig. It's not quite on the correct body. The pink pig, of course, was on a 917K, not the 917LH, but still looks beautiful the same.
That was the long tail?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Fastest lap for Class C at the moment looks like it's a Mike Coulston, actually, a 307.957.
Oh, whereabouts is Mike?
He is currently in 6th place overall.
Place.
Is he 10th overall?
Yeah, so it looks like his lap time may have been deleted or fudged a little bit because it's showing on my screen that he's got a 3:21.
Okay.
I'm
looking at the wrong screen.
Cracker's still the fastest Class C car with Cam Rutledge is the fastest Class C car. Actually, Rody jumps up very nicely. He is in a Class B. He's in a Class C. He's in a Metro as well. So, well done, Rody.
Yes. Just looking at Matty Cecil in the AP Sim Sport machine. The black, evil-looking...
The evil empire.
The evil empire of the GT40. Which I guess it kind of was, wasn't it?
Yeah, like the story, it's a very interesting story, Le Mans 1966 and the whole lead up, and we'll get into that in some more detail later on, but people seem to have this impression that Ferrari was the all-powerful, mighty oppressors and that Ford, the struggling underdog team, came through and did their business and won and took it away, but really Ford had like the full, industrial oppression power of the American industrial machine and, you know, brought something like 14 cars to the 1966 Le Mans with the sole intent of winning. So it's, they were very much the evil empire of the late 60s. And then when they won, they just left.
Yeah.
Like they did in recent times with the GT4, the Ford GT LM project.
Yeah.
I'm not salty about it at all. Why do you ask?
Not at all. No. We're just looking at Rody here. He actually set a personal best through the first sector in his Class C machine. Currently in 8th place. Actually, that would put him. Would that even put him
Class C?
Second of Class C? Yes, it would.
Just behind Cam Rutledge.
Yeah.
That is a very beautiful livery. As we have a new fastest lap, and it is Steve Bolger once again.
3:01.5, I think that was. Yes, it
was massively a quicker final sector. Knocked off almost a full second in that final sector.
Whoa, that's impressive as hell, heck.
Especially, well, the final sector is, the pretty much the infield section of the track that we know and love in the modern Interlagos. But still, to knock off a full second in that sequence of corners is pretty impressive.
Yep. I'm going to go down to Audrey Mishra. I think I haven't pronounced that right. Sorry if I haven't. He's
currently in the pits.
Yes, he is in the pits. He just went 4th fastest, I believe. Yes, he did. In the Singapore Airlines machine. And that's currently 3rd in Class A. And I hope we're back. Let me just check.
Oh, that looks good. If you can hear us, say hi. Because we do have a splash screen again. Hey, we're back.
We are back.
Apologies for that brief interruption. It's all Kiwi's fault.
Good.
Yeah. Basically, my internet decided, no, we don't want to work anymore.
Lame.
Yeah. So, how did the qualifying finish up?
It finished up much the same as it was. The only exception that Lime Mitch, on his last flying lap, put in a time good enough to slot him into second. Steve Bolger was heading for a better time. He was heading for a low 3-minute flat time, but spun out on the last corner exit. So, unfortunate for him, but he still takes pole. And it is Will Devonish in third. He was on a quick lap to finish up, but made a mistake, and will start the B-class lead from third place. Then it'll be Ujit Mishra, Termo, Cam Rutledge, the C-class pole sitter, with a 3:06.4. So very, very close overall. Just over 5 seconds away from the the outright pace. But he was quick enough to oust A-class runners such as Cracker and Nathan Higginson and even Glenn Miles as well. So, very well done by Cam Rutledge.
Good on him.
So we're in a warm-up session now, which gives us a bit of a chance to talk more about the cars and the classes of the race. So we already described how the classes are set up. Oh, pardon me, sorry. I just had a quick glass of water in that little intermission. But we'll give you a bit more information. So the classes are loosely based off the old Prototype 5, Sports Car 5, and Prototype 3 classes from the late 60s and early 70s. So they were classes based around displacement, as most things were back in the day. So Prototype 5 being prototype machines with 5-litre engines, or around that amount. The Ford, of course, was a fake Prototype 5 and was using actually a 7-litre engine because who knows? Because Ford, yeah.
Yep.
Sports Car 5, was it Sports Car 5 or Sports Car 3? Either way, they were smaller displacement cars that were not technically prototypes, but absolutely still prototypes. And then Prototype 3 came along a little later on, so this is more closer to the 70s, which were 3-litre smaller prototype cars. So
I thought it was Sports Car 3?
Sports Car 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sports Car 3 and then Prototype 3, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah. So, in this series, we have a choice of, I think it's 10 cars. So, 3 in Class A, 4 in Class B, and 3 in Class C. So, we'll see what cars we can conjure up. At the moment, I'm looking at Ujit Mishra, one of our Class A machines. As we mentioned, he is in the Lola T70 Mark 3B.
Yeah, there is.
Yep. Beautiful looking machine. What I was about to say before we rudely got cut off was that we were planning on having the Lola and the. Actually, no, he's in a 512. What am I talking about? He's in a Ferrari 512. I'm such a made that
I was
mistake.
going to say
That's a Ferrari 5.
That doesn't look like a Lola.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. It's so weird because it's a Ferrari, right? But it's not in red. So is it really a Ferrari?
It's a Dino.
Okay, we'll go with that.
But no, the 512 was an absolute crazy machine. Let me just look at it.
It is pretty wild. Look at all those scoops and
The lack of bodywork on the back. Because in the 60s, it was pretty much like make your car as light as possible. And hey, if you need to displace bodywork to do that, do it.
Absolutely. And we will talk a little bit when we talk about some of the cars in more depth and some of the features about one of the famous aerodynamic changes to the 917 that turned it from a loosey-goosey to an absolute world beater. By the way, Kiwi, have you got the stream up or just the track map at the moment?
If I do that, there you go.
There we go. So Ujit's driving a 512. If we have a look for Cracker, who's just run off track, he's in the 917. We've already talked about the 917. let's see if we can find Nathan Higginson on track. He's in the Lola. That's the one that we were looking for. As you can see, that's actually very similar to what the 917K looks like. So we were going to have both of them in the series, but once you shrunk them down, they looked too alike. In the B class cars, we had the choice of the Alfa Romeo Tipo 33/3, which no one took because people suck. And we also had the Porsche 908/2, which no one took because people suck. But we do have, in Class B, the MHRT Armada, 4 cars in Ferrari 312s, sitting line astern in the garage at the moment.
Very sexy paint jobs on them all, and beautiful, beautiful cars. Yeah,
supported, of course, by Brian Harvey Panel Repair and Rob Harvey Motors. So the Harveys in full force there. That's a very modern shirt by that AI fan.
He's ahead of his time.
Ahead of his time. And then the other Class B choice is the Ford GT Mark 1. So important that it's the Mark 1 and not the Mark 2. If we had the Mark 2, that would be, of course, a Class A car. I'm trying to find a Ford GT, but
it was on track. Lachlan Burke's the only one I think we have today, and he's currently in the garage.
Oh, we did see Matt Cecil out with a Ford GT as well.
We did, yes.
Yeah, so they're in the garage just next to each other. There's actually 3. There's another one as well, which I'm trying to determine. That's Brian Walsh.
Oh, yes. The reason they're in the garage is we're about to start race 1.
Okay, we'll very quickly wrap up Class C. We have the Chevron B16 Cosworth, which Mike Coulston is in, the Saudi Camel, with an awesome old-school camel livery. And we'll talk... we got a long formation lap, so we can keep going with this as well. And then, of course, we've talked about the Matras, Cam Rutledge and Rhodey in a pair of Matra 650 S's, MS650s, sorry. And then finally, we have a Porsche 906 Carrera 6. Driven by Manuel Centino, and I don't think he's here in tonight, but we're sure to see that car out at some point during the season. So there's your choices of cars, and as we start to form up a grid, we get to see all the beautiful work that people have done in creating these liveries, and all the great work that Brock Harvey's done in putting this mod together as well.
Oh, absolutely. And this has been a work of many months. I know they started planning for this, October?
I think it was even September last year.
When we first got wind that they wanted to do this craziness.
Because there was a few iterations. To begin with, it was meant to be full-size Le Mans cars, and then it was meant to be Group A midgets, and then it was like, well, why don't we get the midgets and the Le Mans cars and put them together? And that's what we have.
That's what we have. And we're away for our long formation, that with the Tic Tac Steve Bolger machine. Beautiful. And then,
this is going to be a long formation lap, by the way. If they're doing 3-minute laps normally, this formation lap is going to go for 5 minutes.
Yeah, so there's Steve Bolger, pole and Class A pole position for him in the inverted air racing machine. Lime Mitch, second place and second in Class A in Oink. And third in Class A... third on the grid, but first in Class B will be Will Devonish in the MHRT Rob Harvey Motors
Ferrari.
Yamada Ferrari.
It's going to take us a little while to get our head around it. While they look close to real life, the proportions are just a little funky, so we are trying to wrap our heads around them.
Fourth place will be Ujit Mishra, third in Class A in the 111 Singapore Wildcat 512. Fifth place will be Turmo, and he's second in Class B, second of the MHRT machines. Sixth place is Cam Rutledge, is in the Matra, the first Class C car, coming from sixth on the grid. And seventh place will be Cracker in the 917. That's the Porsche. And that's fourth in Class A. And Matty Cecil in the Ford GT, and that's going to be third in Class B. You want to take it from here?
It's like an ice cream headache trying to keep track of where everyone is in each class. Mike Coulston, so that is the Chevron, the B16 there, the Camel, beautifully turned out. Well done to Rhodey for making that livery, lifting it straight from an old F1 car in for the Saudi Camel. So he's the second of the Class C runners in 9th overall. Then Nathan Higginson, 10th overall. I think that's 5th in Class A in the Lola. Higo's done a number of liveries for this series, so you'll see a lot of his work, not just in this series, but around the Australasian sim racing landscape. Third of the MHRT cars is Brock Harvey. He's got no mic tonight, so there's no chance of him dropping a random F-bomb on stream, unfortunately. So we've got that to look forward to through the season. He's in the third of the Ferrari 312s. As Brian Walsh, the second of the 4 GTs, fifth qualifier in Class B in the Wildcat GT40. I believe that is the livery, the black stripe livery that won Le Mans the first time for Ford, with Bruce McLaren and Chris Amon.
Yes, the 66 car, or 66 in 1966, not 66 car.
The number 2 car.
Yeah.
A pair of Kiwis.
Yes, indeed, a pair of Kiwis. And for once, I actually know that knowledge without you having to prompt me. Regular listeners of our podcast would know that.
Yes. Brilliant.
In 13th place on the grid, Lockie Burke, another Ford GT. It's the blue striped one. Now, that one I don't recall seeing race.
That one, I think that one raced. I think that one was one of the customer cars, though.
Okay.
So not one of the not one of the main heavy hitters.
And there's Rhodey in 14th on the grid in his Matra.
Beautifully turned out as well. That's basically a fully fledged Matra livery. It's a beautiful looking thing.
Yeah. 15th is Luke Joyner, the last of the MHRT Ferraris. And 16th, Glenn Wiles, Turbo Engineering, the purple thing.
Lola,
that's the word I was looking for, yes.
Yeah. It's hard to remember which is which, especially the Lolas, which look like 917s, honestly. And here we are, Kiwi. Are you ready for the first race of TCAC Le Mans Midgets?
Oh, yes.
I'm so excited. This is going to be great fun.
This is going to be amazing fun. It's off the start with the classes mingling with each other. Could be absolute carnage. As we
that
wait.
Big slipstream as well, as we get ready to go.
And we're away here in Interlagos. A pretty good start from the Pink Pig, I've got to say. Down the inside, he's going to have the lead going to turn 1, but as they fan out 3-4 wide behind, and he's going to take the lead. Great move from Lime Mitch.
He's got an absolute bullet from the start. That might come to haunt him at the other end of the straight. Remember the big, long slipstreams here for these cars, and Bulgers are straight into it. Lime Mitch goes all the way to the inside to try and hold him off there. But Will Devonish managed to hold third, and Lime Mitch has already dropped a position because of that slipstream. Wow, look at that. We said it was going to have a big effect, and already it's had a big effect. And we dive through turn 3.
Yep, and we saw Udrit Mishra on the inside of turn 3 as well. We couldn't get the move done, as in 4th place. So, clean start. We've got still got a Will Devonish in 3rd place, leading Class B.
Cracker's made a great number of moves from the start. He's diving down the inside into Will, not quite as they come through the hairpin. He actually dives very, very wide into avoidance. I was about to say he's come up 3 spots since the start of the race, but he's already dropped 2 of those in 1 corner.
Yeah, just got a bit too excited, I think, trying to pass a lower class car, but he's going to go straight back. Mind you, that is a right-hand corner.
That one there is a Ferrari.
That one is a Ferrari, and that's a right-hand corner, which you can't get the move done in. But had to go around the outside of there.
Nathan Higginson as well got a pretty good start. He's up 3 spots as he rides the curb and gets immediately overtaken. I think what we're seeing already is that sorry, that was Brock Harvey who got overtaken, not Higo. We're seeing the effect that the lightweight of the midgets have on how the racing is going to propagate, as I think that's Brian Walsh spinning in the background. It looks like you've got to really keep the momentum flowing with these cars in order to have any real hope, especially on these longer circuits.
Yeah, and especially on a track like this, which has got so many fast-flowing corners.
Which is very typical of the time period of the late 60s. It was pretty much, let's combine all these city highways and then put some light corners in between.
Oh, Spa and Le Mans are the 2 great examples of that. Old Spa.
Absolutely. Old Spa, yeah, the terrifying Spa.
Oh, Will Devonish very sideways. He's lost it.
No!
He's gone off, and he's going to shift a whole bunch of positions. He's probably come out behind Mike Colston, in fact, and I think Milesy might pass him as well. And there he goes. So that's
There
dropped him
goes
down a long way.
Saudi Camel. Yeah, down in 13th.
Still not last in class. He's got a couple of B-class cars behind him. So as we're coming up to the finish our first lap, as we've still got a few corners to go, Steve Bolger out in front, 7/10 of a second behind, in front of the pink pig of Lime Mitch. And then we have a bit of a gap back to Ushrit Mishra, Cracker, Turmo in 5th. Nathan Higginson in 6th.
Yep.
Then Brock Harvey and Matty Cecil.
Move on here.
Ooh, move on for where?
Between Brock Harvey and Matt Cecil. Cecil just cleans him up on the inside. Again, just using the momentum coming out of that last corner and just breezes by the Ferrari 312.
Yep. And Cam Rutledge, currently a leading Class C runner in 9th. And we have 16 and a half minutes to go, so probably 7 laps.
It's pretty quick. It's pretty quick. The way the time goes, especially with how long the laps are, they fan down towards the second corner. Is that Nathan Higginson just doing the old Shane Van Gisbergen, getting 2 wheels on the grass as they come into the corner?
That would have been a scary prospect in the 1960s.
Oh boy, it's a scary prospect nowadays.
Yeah, when you have aero.
Yeah, not much aero on these cars. They're pretty slippery.
Oh yeah. We should probably mention as well. I haven't mentioned this. We may not see it today so much, but the pit lane speed limit in these for the races, 200 kilometers an hour.
Basically non-existent.
Yeah.
The 60s. Don't you love it?
Don't you love it how safe it was for everybody involved?
It's brilliant. We got a little bit of a battle on for position 10th and 11th. Sorry, Rhodey and Luke Joyner coming to blows through the middle part of the lap as they come around the lake. The Matra is doing pretty well to hold on to the rear of the Ferrari 512 here.
Yeah, I did suspect there might be some interclass mingling, and we're seeing it here. The Class B of Luke Joyner, the Class C of Rhodey. And we've got Joyner's teammate coming in to make it 3 wide.
Well, yeah. Going to be very quick. Devonish might try and give his teammate a push here. No, he just breezes straight past him, and it's getting tight there as Rhodey closes the door on the Class B runner. So they swoop around the lake on towards the more modern part of the circuit. There's a lockup just ahead.
Oh, Will Devonish late dive on the inside.
And I think that's Cam Rutledge. So that's the Class C lead, and they made contact.
There was a lot going on there.
Class C runners, yeah. The two Class C runners making contact there as Will Devonish made it through.
I have to say, well done by Will Devonish. There wasn't much of a gap there, and he took it.
I think Rhodey got a little distracted by the lockup ahead of him and actually went a little deep himself, and Devonish just, found the way to make the move.
Yeah. Rhodey, Cam Rutledge, Luke Joyner's trying to make himself a nuisance here as well. These two identical cars. As we see Cam Rutledge down the inside. Can he get the move done this time around? No, he can't. Rhodey just gets the better drive, and away he goes.
Again, it's going to be all about momentum here, so let's see who gets the best run out of the final corner to come onto the main straight. And with Luke Joyner on the inside of Cam, it's going to be very difficult for him to get that good run.
But what that does mean is Cam Rutledge is going to get a bit of slipstream.
It'll be pretty tasty as Steve Bolger sets a 3:01 flat. He's really roaring away at the front of the field. I just want to kind of jump on board with Cam Rutledge to see how the slipstream looks at the moment.
With Mr. Rutledge. Okay, let's jump on board with Mr. Rutledge. If I go to the right camera, which is not that one, that one. There we go. So bumper cam from Cam Rutledge, looking at the sexy backside of Luke Joyner.
Wait.
Car.
Take it easy, Kiwi. Take it easy. We've got a long season yet. He's done well there. He's done well. Luke just overstepped on the inside, and Cam's managed to slide his way through and take that position. So Luke's jumped back into the slipstream.
Yeah. Cam Rutledge is a bit far back here to get into the slipstream from Rhodey.
But these long sweeping corners are going to do wonders for the slipstream. So you can basically just keep that momentum going through each of the corners.
Well, Rhodey doing that will help too. Well wide of turn 4.
He's still going. He's still going. He's going to try and get up the hill here. Using all the banking and then some.
Well, that's put pay to that battle.
Yeah, so Rody did come back onto the track in 13th, so dropped it behind Mike Coulston as well in the other Class C car.
Yep. We've got a battle between 8th and 9th, Will and Brock Harvey now. Teammates in the Ferraris, Class B.
Oh, actually, I'm just going to bring your attention to Lion Mitch. He's dropped down to 6th place. What's going on there?
Let's see if I can catch that on replay. I know he's already in 5th place by the time this replay comes in, so not too sure what he's done.
I've scrolled back a little bit.
Yeah.
He's actually gone a little wide on the entry to the Ferradura hairpin, and then when he's tried to gas it up to get it back on track, he's actually spun it and hit the wall. So that's why Liam's got so far down.
Oh.
And he's got a bit of work to do now to get back on terms.
That's big. That's really
a bit of a weird one.
Yeah. Oh, it's my. There we go. Looks like Audrey Mishra is closing right on Cracker as well.
So we've got a pretty decent Class A battle here with Termo holding on pretty nicely.
In the Class B machine.
So these guys are already in the middle part of the lap, down in Pirino and Cotovello. So we're trying our best with the names. But this is the middle part that we would understand from the modern Interlagos circuit. And Mishra's made an absolute hash of that, and he's been swept up by Termo there. Well done.
Opportunistic by Termo. That's going to put a lower class on the overall podium, as it sounds currently.
We love to see that, don't we?
Oh, ever since bloody Petite Le Mans.
How did I know that's exactly the example you were going to use?
Yeah, Porsche GT winning there. Oh, Ushrit Mishra down the inside. This flat out section, he's going to have the extra pace because, yes, he's got 15 extra horsepower and less weight. So there he goes.
Yeah, so it's about 10 Ks different as they cross the line between the Class A and the Class B car. So that's going to be pretty difficult for the Class B guys to hold on. But using the momentum, they can probably stay in the slipstream and try and stick to the rear of the Class A cars through some of the faster corners.
Yep. So Steve Bolger's just come through turn 2 now. I think that's halfway through the race. That's a good chance to take stock of where everyone is. So coming through.
We love doing this.
We love doing this. Here comes Cracker in 2nd place. 3rd is Ushret Mishra. There's the leading Class B car in Termo in 4th. Bit of a gap back to 5th place for Lime Mish in the Oink machine. Manny Cecil and Will Devonish in 7th. And we have a massive
great recovery.
He has. And they've got Cam Rutledge and then a cluster muck from 9th down with Mike Coulston, Brock Harvey, Luke Joyner, Rody, all in the same bit of track.
Oh, we're going to follow that. That looks a little awkward there as they came in. And it's a little awkward on the exit as well for Brock.
Oh, Brock just all over the curb. And these curbs here are brutal.
He almost ended up in the ditch there, did Brock?
Well, let's get that bad boy up on replay. So he's just pushed it way too hard. And over the curb, and he did hit the fence. Whoa.
He was very lucky there. Very lucky that he didn't end up backwards and upside down into the fence. That's funny. Oh, bro. We're going to be seeing a fair bit of that, I think, because people are going to be pushing to keep the momentum up, to keep flowing these cars. There are going to be times where the track just escapes you, like it did for Brock just then.
Yep. Looking here at Lime Mitch in 7th place, he's got Matty Cecil just ahead of him in the lower class, so theoretically should be able to pass him easy.
Well, you say that, but wasn't it just when we were doing our little snapshot that Lime Mitch was in 5th?
Yeah.
So he's actually dropped those positions to Matt Cecil and Will Devonish, who, by the way, put in a 3:04 last time around to be the fastest runner not named Steve Bolger.
In a B-class car.
In a B-class car, exactly. So he's really turning the wick up to try and get back on terms with those top guys.
Now we're going to go back up to Termo, who's just looped it. He's just pointing, no harm, no foul. Oh, as he get going as he can. He actually hasn't lost a position as a result of that. But he has lost about 10 seconds.
Yeah, so he had quite a gap to the group ahead and the group behind. So he's lost a decent amount of that gap to Ujit Mishra now. So no challenging for the overall podium at this stage anymore for Ujit Mishra. I mean for Termo rather.
Steve
And
Bolger.
there's Will Devonish.
Oh, Will Devonish up in the 5th now. I was just going to mention Steve Bolger, 12 seconds down the front, just on fire. Where's Will Devonish at?
Yeah, so this is actually a little pack that's going to start brewing soon. It's Termo, the recovering Termo, then Will Devonish behind him. He's now 2.5 seconds behind Termo. Then that's Lime Mitch and Matt Cecil. And then we've got some side-by-side action further down. Nathan Higginson and Luke Joyner side-by-side up towards the grid. The bigger engine in the Class A Lola has put him ahead for the moment, but that one's one certainly to keep an eye on throughout the rest of the race. Here you go, using every little bit of track there.
Yep, we're using those super wide tyres to grab as much grip as you can muster, as we see. Whoa, boy, number 7 is gone. Luke Joyner off to the inside of the track, makes contact with the wall.
Oh, that did not look pretty.
That was not pretty at
He
all.
was fighting it for so long as well. He had 2 or 3 stabs at it before it finally went on him.
Epitome of the sub yes, 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 no.
Absolutely.
So that's a shame. As we're going back to Lime Mitch now, who's right on the tail of Will Devonish. I don't know why I put the emphasis on that.
This is going to be a pretty tasty battle as they come through towards the hairpin in the middle of the circuit.
One thing I'm noticing here is the Class B cars seem to be pretty consistent and on competitive with the A class in the infield.
Yeah, it's I think the platform's a little more balanced. You're able to be a bit more aggressive without that that extra power overdoing things. So it wouldn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all that the B class cars can keep up with the A class in the midfield, in the infield rather.
Yeah, that slight inflection was Lime Mitch getting a little sideways. He does it again.
He's playing with fire here. He's playing with fire, and he might end up a little roast piggy if he keeps doing that.
I knew you were going to go there.
We hang out too often.
We do. Oh God, do I win at my wedding? I'm not sure now.
Oh, brilliant.
Now I'm going to go down to our Class C battle between Cam Rutledge and Mike Coulson because that's closing up as well. I say closing up.
Oh, actually,
Yep.
I'm just going to bring you to Nathan Higginson, who's lost the Lola in a straight line and has hit the wall 3-4 times down that inside straight.
Let's have a look at this. So he's coming around the long sweeping corner that takes him onto the infield section and just overdrives it. And whoa, that was a mega off.
That looked like it hurt.
Yeah, that would have hurt.
If this was the 60s. Oh, as we've got Lime Mitch around again in the slower part of the corners.
And
it's all happening all of a sudden. Is the 917 too much car for him?
Just got that on replay. He just gassed it up too early coming out of the slower corner.
And now he's side by side with Cam Rutledge out of the final corner. Now that's an unbalanced drag race if I've ever seen one.
Yep. Porsche's just going, see ya.
Much like they did in the early 70s with the 917.
Yep, as everyone's just lagging around on my screen again. Please don't disconnect internet. No, we're good.
You're still here. I can still hear you.
Good.
So Will Devonish has actually caught onto the tail of his MHRT mate in Termo for 4th position.
Yep.
So they're the closest battle on track, which is for a class battle as well.
Yep, with 3 and 3/4 minutes to go.
So 3 laps, I think that works out to be.
Okay,
including this one.
We'll see what happens here between the teammates. Of course, first race of the season, you wouldn't want to punt your teammate off just yet.
Nah, save that for round 9.
Yeah. Oh, he might have a run here on the inside of that slow corner. He's getting the move done quite, I think. Actually,
Did Termo leave the space?
I think Termo left the space there. But he's going to fight back. On the inside of this corner, yes, and now this is very polite racing between the two of them.
I think everyone's still just slightly learning these cars and learning the track and learning what they can sort of get away with here. Because both of them were extremely courteous to each other.
Yeah.
Too courteous, I'd say. I want more panel bashing, please. I know this isn't touring cars, but this is still TCAC.
I'm keeping a close eye on that gap for the gap between the Class C leaders as well. Stand 1.5 seconds between Cam Rutledge and Mike Colston. 1.3, so that might be worth checking out in a moment as well.
I've got eyes on that one, so I'll alert you should anything happen.
Okay. And I'll keep an eye on Will Devon. It's just getting it a little wrong through whatever corner that was.
It's hard with these old circuits. It's hard to remember what the names are.
It's a long sweeping corner. Okay, still 3/4 of the track.
Exactly.
And it's just immediately made up that time. So yeah, these cars, even though they're tiny, you look at momentum's the big thing. He's right on his tail now. So Will Devon is going to try to go the long way around Turmo.
No. He's just managed to squeeze that out, has Turmo, keep the position. But Will's doing a great job of harrying the rear of that Ferrari.
Not this time around. Meanwhile, the gap
a
out.
little lock up for Will in the middle of the corner.
Yep. Ooh, big lock up from Turmo. Oh, they've made contact. Oh. And Will Devon is through as a result of Turmo getting it all wrong coming out of the final bit of the slow section.
The penultimate corner. And it was a really big mistake there, an unusual mistake, because he wasn't really under any pressure. So a bit of a weird one there. It's kind of let Will get away with one.
Yeah. Now's probably a good chance to go down to that battle between Cam Rutledge and Mike Colston for the C-Class battle.
Oh, actually, let's just quickly grab Lion Mitch, because he's gone to the moon, it looks like.
He's gone way bush. Okay, let's have a look at this one on
I
replay.
don't know how,
So,
that's not a nice replay if you're Lion Mitch.
Oh, that's... Okay, so he's got it wrong, and then off to the... Jesus! And hit the invisible barrier. And he's gone off again. Or was that him still trying to recover?
Got it well wrong.
Okay.
Oh, he got air. He got air under that as well.
Yeah.
That's a 1960s crash if I've ever seen one.
And he still hasn't got it on the tarmac yet. There he goes.
The only thing he's missing out of that is the bodywork falling apart and coming off, and magnesium tube frame fire.
Authentic 60s.
Authentic 60s.
As time is ticking down with 8 seconds to go in this race, the gap out front is a measly 16 seconds. And we're just looking here, Cam Rutledge has actually extended that gap over Mike Colston to 1.6 seconds for the C-Class victory. So let's have a look. Oh, as we see Turmo getting past Will Devonish again. That was a slipstreaming battle.
I wonder if there is some fuel saving going on here that they're trying to do, because of course long laps, massive amounts of straight lines, you're going to be using a lot of throttle. I wonder if they're actually struggling for fuel in the Ferraris.
At which point slipstreaming is actually going to help you.
Yeah, exactly. So that might be what they're doing. They might be just trying to save some fuel, Indy 500 style.
Yeah, that's very possible. Meanwhile, out front, Steve Bolger just coming through the slow hairpin to take him down through the final sector. This has been an impressive run from Bolger, completely faultless.
He's had a little bit of a slow lap this time around, a 1:17.8 versus a 1:15.1, as I'm looking at Turmo and Will Devonish going side by side through that same corner complex again for 4th and 5th.
As we're seeing now, Will Devonish trying to go around, get the over-under done. Can't get it done this time around. And I believe we've started the final lap. We're about to start the final lap.
We're about to start the final lap.
Yep.
I'm going to jump on board with Will, and I suggest you do too.
Yeah, let's have a look to see what he's actually doing.
See how this plays out as we come up the hill once more for the 7th time of 8.
Now, and we'll just listen to see if there's any lifting or any shenanigans. Big lift.
Yeah, absolutely had to. On the brakes as well was Turmo. Oh, a little break there for Turbo, and Wu's got the run here. Look at him come. He's going straight up towards that gearbox and swings out at the last moment. They make a little bit of this side drafting going on as they come down towards curve 3.
It's going to be who's the bravest on the brakes. And it looks like Will Devonshire is going to get this move done if he can hold it on the exit of the curve, but he's going to be pretty tight. And he gets the move done. No, he doesn't.
Snaps back as well. Turbo came back underneath. Wow, what a great move.
Okay, last lap, these guys aren't lifting anymore.
Again. Yeah, here we go again into the slow turn 5 hairpin.
Turbo's actually gapped him a bit. No, I say a bit, like 0.3 of a second.
A bit, yeah, not much at all. And that gap, by the way, between Mike Coulston and Cam Rutledge has also gotten a bit smaller. It's only 0.8, or it's actually out to a second now, but that's still one to keep an eye on. Remember, these are for class leads, class wins, by the way. So this is Turmo and Devonish is for the Class B win, and Rutledge versus Coulston is for the Class C win. So we'll have to keep an eye on them as we come up towards the line. But Steve Bolger has been just almost impeccable this race. Yes. We've got a yellow flag, and it's Lachlan Bork who has spun it on the infield in his GT40.
I'm going to go... Ooh, Audrey Mishra looked a bit slow, but I think that's just going through a slow corner. I'm going to go make my way up now to Steve Bolger, the Tic Tac Porsche. Absolutely faultless from him. He's
been minty fresh in this brand new series so far.
He has been, as it says on the back of his car.
Yeah, nothing gets past you, does it, Kiwi?
A lot of things do. But even off the only blip he had was off the start, and I think that was might have been even tactical. Joey wasn't even, dealing with the slipstream into turn 1 or turn 2.
That's a great point I hadn't really thought about there. So he's done very well from the very beginning of this race to control that Porsche and control the race. As he comes up to the line, he will be our first race winner of the TCAC Le Mans Minis Series. Congratulations, Steve Bolger.
Great win. Absolutely fantastic win by 8 seconds. It looks like it's going to be over second place Cracker. Here he comes now. Pretty good result from Cracker, actually. He comes second. And then the Singapore Airlines 111 of Ushrit Mishra coming across the line in third. Tell you what, the two Ferraris are still nose to tail, but Turmo's going to get the B-class victory.
You're going to be very close as they come across the line. Yeah, it was 0.3 of a second between the pair of them as they come across the line. And so Turmo draws first blood in the MHRT stable. Yep. Then it will be, we're going to go back to Class C, because have a look at this as they come up to the line.
Side by side through the second to last corner up the hill. And it looks like Cam Rutledge is just going to hold on ahead of the Saudi Camel for the C-Class win and 7th overall for race 1.
Well done. Oh, great action at the end. We had Matt Sass across the line in 6th as well. Rutledge, 2/10 between Rutledge and Coulston in the end for Class C victory. Congratulations to the pair of them. Congratulations to all of our class winners as well. We might not forget Turmo and Cam Rutledge taking home their respective classes. And then we've got Brock Harvey will be the next car in. He's in 9th, just coming up towards the stadium as we speak.
Unspectacular race from Brock Harvey.
He did go up 2 positions, so yeah, not the worst.
And we see the Luke Joyner being the 4th of the MHRT Rob Harvey Motors machines, just ahead of Rhodey. Started a run from Rhodey in the end to come home 11th. And then
done well in that little Matra. Nathan Higginson and then Glenn Miles, both in the Lolas.
Yep, and here's Walshy in the Ford GT40. And there he goes. And then the Space Pig is making his way around. He would be kicking himself after that.
I wonder if he's having second choices over what car he's picked right now. Right at this very moment. Maybe not for the season, but just right now as he's coming through these slower corners and putting the gas down, sliding again. I wonder if he's going, maybe I shouldn't have picked this.
Yeah. Well, he's always got another version of the car he can go into, but it's just a paint job.
Oh, let's save that story for another time, maybe.
Indeed. The car is a very battered pig as he comes through onto the stadium section now. He would be kicking himself with that. And for one of our favourites, I think, for the season.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's a shame for him.
Not the best.
And there's Lachlan Burke in 16th. He's parked up on the infield.
I think a lap down as well. So I think he's finished up, and I think that's the end of our race. I think that's the end of race 1.
That is indeed the end of
race 1 of a new championship, Kiwi.
Race 1 of a new championship. That was hectic. A lot to keep up with, and I think we did all right.
Just a lot. Brock actually jumping into live chat on YouTube. If you are, well, of course you're watching it on us on YouTube if you're listening to us. Saying that he had sparks coming off the rear tires on the last lap there. So struggling for tire wear, perhaps, Brock.
Maybe. I'm not seeing that.
Which is a weird one.
Yeah, that's you wouldn't 20 minutes in these cars wouldn't. I mean, yes, the tires would not be liking it, but it wouldn't be that bad. I would have thought.
Yeah, especially considering how much straight line there is on this track.
Yeah.
You'd expect that if you're so used to walking in the straight lines that you use less of your tires. I mean, you know, at Le Mans they're capable of quintuple stinting these tires because it's all straight lines.
There we go. Now I've got chat up. Since my net died, it decided not to work. So I've missed everyone's beautiful comments.
And speaking of missing everyone's beautiful comments, we've missed all of your beautiful comments, and especially the comments of our race winners. So we've got Steve Bolger, Termo, and Cam Rutledge. We'll start with Steve. Steve, a great race, led basically from start to finish. Were you chasing that 3 minutes flat? Is that the goal for tonight?
Oh, absolutely chasing that, and then I got a bit worried about fuel, so I was lifting and coasting for the last 2 laps, because I forgot about time plus 1. But yeah, 3 minutes was the goal. That was hard.
Sorry to jump over the top of you, but the fuel tanks aren't luxurious in these cars. Is that something that you're having to think about throughout the race?
Certainly not filled up in the sprint race. It was just that allowed enough laps, but not an extra 3-minute lap on top.
Fair enough. What about these cars? First race in this new series. How are you finding them? How are you finding the dynamics? How are you finding the driving style? It seems to suit you very well, considering the lead you got on that race.
They're great fun, mate. The guys have done brilliantly. Brock and Rhodey fine-tuning these cars, mate. They're awesome fun. You can just flick them in, point them in the corner, and power them out. They're really good.
Awesome. Well, we hope to see more of you. I hope to hear more of you throughout the season, and a great way to start it. Congratulations.
Thanks, Floody.
Class B winner was Termo, in a battle that went down to the absolute wire with his teammate. Termo, good race for you.
Yes.
Did you have fun out there?
Yeah.
Do you reckon you can beat Will again?
Don't know.
Awesome. Congratulations on the Class B victory.
Thanks.
Man of many words is Termo.
I mean, he didn't give incorrect answers.
I mean, that's true. That's true. Nothing he said was wrong. Finally, our Class C winner, Cam Rutledge. Cam, nice race from you. Battling it out with the Class B and Class A runners for the early part. How are you finding being in the lower class in a multi-class series like this?
I actually find it really enjoyable. These cars handle really, really well, and I think it's the first time in this series in a long time I've found a car that I've been comfortable in. So it's nice to sort of battle up with some of the guys in the higher classes. But testament to the boys, have done a really good job with the series of making these cars.
And they're beautiful looking cars as well. You picked the Matra. What was the logic behind picking the Matra?
That was sort of more Rhodey's idea.
Yep.
I was looking for a teammate, and Rhodey said, I'm going to do C-Class. I'm like, yeah, it sounds great. And yeah, full credit, he painted all the cars. He's done a really good job. He was trying to keep them to how they looked back in the day. He's done an awesome job. Yeah,
and I'll absolutely echo that. We'll probably have a bit of a chat with Rhodey at some point during the season to talk about how he got these cars looking so good. Finally, I just want to chat to you about a little moment you had coming through. I think it was turn 3 where you got on the grass and came back, and then you were on top of Rhodey for a moment. What went through your mind when that happened?
I really don't know.
Fair enough. Lucky,
Yeah.
lucky that both you escaped from that one.
Yep, just extremely lucky.
Yeah. So Class C victory. Congratulations, Cam, and yeah, best of luck for the next race.
No worries, thanks, boys.
So there's 3 class winners. Few very flattering, complimentary comments towards the mod and the mod pack. So if you are watching, you want to have a go, make sure you jump onto. Oh, what is the website? Is it TCAC or is it Brock Harvey that they have all the mods stored? Brock, you're in the chat. Drop your link in the YouTube live chat and we'll read it out. But yeah, either jump in, get involved, or take these for your own personal use. They look like a lot of fun. I can't wait to have a go at one of them with my Switch controller at some point in the near future.
I can confirm they are a lot of fun, and I can actually drive these somewhat competently when I know the track, which I didn't tonight, and I kept binning it. But
What? You somewhat competently? Never.
I mean, admittedly, I was B-class pace in an A-class car, so you know.
Brilliant. That's what you'll have to see.
So we've got a few minutes, about 6 minutes before we get going with the next race. Shall we talk a bit about Le Mans and the Le Mans Midgets and what these cars are about?
Absolutely.
And why it means so much to us?
Absolutely. So, of course, we've talked plenty in bits and pieces about the importance of Le Mans, the significance of Le Mans, and in the late 60s, this was really the I think the second real golden era of Le Mans. You had a bunch of different factory teams, a lot of different formats. You had the World Sports Car Championship for makes in this period as well. It was a really exciting time in the development of the sports car legends, and that's what a lot of these cars are. And you think back to some of the legends of motor racing, and these are what you think of, right?
Oh yeah, like just having a quick look at some of the drivers. Dan Gurney, AJ Foyt, one of the 60s. Chris Amon, Bruce McLaren, as you talked about earlier. Graham Hill raced these machines, the Ferrari 330. John Surtees.
Big names. Clay Rigatoni as well. Rigazzatoni.
Clay Fasterman.
But like Ronnie Peterson, Joachim Bonnier, Pedro Rodriguez, we'll talk a fair bit about him. One of the features lined up about Pedro Rodriguez in the 917 as well.
Phil Hill, Mr. Paul Freer, the person who got this corner spa named after him.
Huh, there you go.
Yeah, all sorts of names. And then the cars were an absolute handful. The track, especially Le Mans track, was basically the road between 3 towns. And it was just some incredible racing. And I'm not the greatest historian of anything in the world, but this sort of racing and watching footage of this stuff is just phenomenal to see what these guys do.
Yeah, it's just a different breed. It was really a sort of crossroads between the modern racing scene and what had been so classic and traditional of the 50s, the sports car racing in the 50s, which were road legal cars at every single step of the way, being driven by mostly amateurs, but a few professionals. But I think the mid to late 60s was the first time you saw proper bespoke cars built only for racing. Like, that's their sole purpose. They're not meant to be driven on the road. They are only for racing. It was the first time you saw proper professional drivers, the dawn of the professional driver, the driver who's the person whose job it is just to race. And the idea of sponsors in motorsport and in sport in general, like I think the first sponsored car to win at Le Mans was the Ford GT, the golf sponsorship, wasn't it?
I think you're right. Yeah, before then, and even after then for a little bit, it was really just a marketing exercise for the companies.
Yeah, exactly. And it was really the sort of crossroads of destiny between what had come before and what then became world sports car racing.
Yeah, and the early 60s was dominated by Ferrari, and the late 60s dominated by Ford. But you look down the list, you had in the lower classes, you had your Matras, your Ferrari 275s, your Alpines.
I love those Alpines.
Alpines were 1.15 litre engines. or 1 litre engines just could
they just went.
They just went.
Beautiful looking things as well.
Oh yeah. If I could figure out how to do it, I'd put a camera up. Actually, I'm going to try this.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Apparently, we've got Brock in the live chat saying that he's out for the rest of the night because he's having a Windows update. So, X in the chat for Brock, everyone.
Oh, that's a shame.
That's a solid off.
That is a very solid off. Okay, no, I can't get it up. But yeah, the Alpine A210 is an absolute dream of a car. It just looks like it belongs on a racetrack.
And you can say that about a lot of these cars. This is before like proper aerodynamic understanding really came about. So there wasn't these massive ugly wings or winglets on everything. It was just beautiful smooth lines with the aggression of motorsport. And I think that's what sets it apart from the 50s, which was some of the most gorgeous looking cars, but the sort of rudimentary understanding of aerodynamics, the little bits that make them look like race cars in the 60s and the early 70s really sort of sets it apart, in my opinion.
Like the Austin Healey doesn't look like a race car, but they raced at Le Mans.
That very famously raced at Le Mans.
Yes. But yeah, we love Le Mans. You love the history of Le Mans. I love reading about it, and it's just something crazy, and we love it.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons that I really pushed when they were devising this series to keep things as accurate and as true to life as possible when it came to how the classes were set up and the AI drivers and all that sort of thing, because it's something that is an important part of the motorsport history, the annals of motorsport history, and to if we were going to do it, we had to do it right, and that's part of the reason as well why I'm putting in a lot of effort behind the scenes to sort out some features to try and share some of these stories, because there were so many stories to tell in this period of motorsport.
Oh yeah, and we look forward to bringing those to you over the next 5 months.
5 months, goddamn.
Yeah, I know. So much is going to happen. The commentary, we will be here for all 9 rounds. I won't be hosting for all 9 rounds because I'll be on the move, but we'll work something out.
Oh, does that mean I have to host again? Oh no.
Oh no.
We'll remember how well that went last season.
Yes, we do. We're about ready to go here with race number 2, I think.
Just sorting out the final bits and pieces. It'll be a progressive grid, so they won't have another qualifying session.
Mm-hmm. Which means Will Devonish has found himself in a world of hurt. Not Will Devonish.
Not quite a world of hurt, just a little puddle.
Sorry, I mean Lime Mitch.
Lime Mitch, yeah, Lime Mitch is in a world of hurt. Although it looks like Lime Mitch may have actually jumped out of the server.
Oh.
So it looks like we've lost Lime Mitch as well as Brock Harvey, and potentially someone else as well. I am just trying to quickly look through, but we have picked up another Ferrari 512. A guest Ferrari 512 has jumped in at the hands of Claude Aurac. So
Claude Aurac, who is actually a name from the Le Mans film.
There you go. So it must just be a guest car in that respect.
Yep. They put not a real name in for the film because that would have been, you can't have people called Graham Hill and Chris Amon in the film.
True.
But so we're just waiting on.
Yep. So I reckon if my brain is correct, I reckon that might be Lewis Wedding. In that, if he's chosen a reference name, and I reckon that might be Lewis Wedding. In fact, I'm just gonna quickly just have a little bit of a look. Yeah, there he is. That's Lewis Wedding. He loves doing this.
Lewis Wedding,
it's
aka Peter Siraj. You've been discovered, Lewis. Oh dear.
Love it. Oh, so he'll be quick straight away. So expect him to be a quick
one. Of course,
one.
in the Class A Ferrari.
Yeah. Picked a good one as well.
Yeah, with those crazy mirrors.
I am just going to quickly jump into his stream and just give him the eyes emote.
You do that.
Just so he knows.
Well,
Just so he knows.
while you do that, we'll get the cars out on grid for race 2. Should also just quickly mention as well, there is a success handicap weight on these ones. Small weights, but in these cars, small weights will make a big difference. And they were going to be applied to the class leaders of each race. Okay, we're getting on track now. Just waiting for the cars to load in. So you'll see, as we talked about progressive grid, Steve Bolger will be leading from the front, hoping to do what he did in the first race and just take off with it. With Cracker behind him and Ushrit Mishra, and Turmo being the leading B-class car from 4th place. And we see the Saudi Camel popping behind him, second in Class C.
Headlights on for Cam Rutledge, those nice little green domes. Further back you can see Nathan Higginson with his headlights on, the blue ones, the beautiful blues out the back. And it looks like that was also Matt Cecil with his headlights on. And we're away on the formation lap, and it looks like someone down the back didn't get away, and that might have been Luke Joyner, but he's now rolling. And so are we, as you made mention. Here is the grid. Steve Bolger again leading us away from Cracker, who finished a very respectable second place. And then Ujit Mishra. So the first of the Ferraris in the field after a pair of Porsche 917s. Turmo leads Class B in the blue MHRT example of the Ferrari 312. He's ahead of Will Devenish in the red Ferrari 512. There's a little bit of malarkey going on in the background as it looks like Matt Cecil and Cam Rutledge were quite rudely swung across the front of by Nathan Higginson, but that's okay. They'll be starting from 6th, 7th and not 8th because Higginson's further down than that. Mike Coulston will be 8th in that beautiful Saudi Camel. Luke Joyner in 9th. Rody out of 10th in the Matra in Class C. We forgot to mention that Cam Rutledge is the Class C pole sitter, off of 7th. Nathan Higginson is in 11th. Brian Walsh in 12th. Lachlan Bork, who's finding a little bit of grass on the right-hand side of the track, in 13th. There's Cloud Elrak, who is very, very much Lewis Wedding in that one. So he's out of 14th, and that is your grid. A little bit of a smaller grid, but a field with no less quality in it.
Oh yes, so obviously keep an eye on Lewis Wedding to come in from the back here. We know he's quick. Who else should we do out of position really? Nathan Higginson is out of position a bit in 11th. So look for him
considering
to come through.
his class, yes.
Yep.
We'll see how he gets on in the Lola.
Yeah. And looking for really to see how Will Devenish goes in this race. I don't think he'd be overly happy with his race 1 performance. But he has...
Is Will ever happy with this race 1 performance?
No, he's not.
I've done a lot of commentating on Will's racing last year across TCAC, the Bathurst 500 and Bathurst 1000 for ASC, and as well in Porsche Cup and GT3. And you could say he wasn't happy with that race result for a lot of Will's outings. But hopefully he has a reason to be happy soon.
Well, fingers crossed. So we're just coming through. God, we're not even through Sector 2 yet.
It's such a long lap.
Yeah. The crowd's come out in force as well. Higginson's currently in 4th place on the road. Rossi, Betts lining up who won't line up properly on the grid. All of them?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I would put money on Cecil pointing sideways.
Yep. Someone just reverse up to the grid. Let's have a Le Mans start. Bugger it.
Oh, yes, please.
Everyone do a lap of your house. Go.
Are you allowed to do that in Victoria? Are you allowed to actually leave your house?
As of 11:59, we can.
Oh, too bad we're not running this as a 24-hour race then.
Very true. Okay, we're finally coming around the up the hill to the start line, so we can finally stop talking rubbish and get ready for these cars to line up on the grid.
And talk more rubbish.
I mean, yes, but rubbish with a purpose. Ish.
I think that's the best way to describe my commentary. Rubbish with a purpose.
No, that's how we describe your DSC articles.
Oh. Oof. Ouch. That one hurt.
Ah.
Totally true, though.
Okay, so what is Rhodey doing? There he goes. Rhodey's-
Cecil was actually in the right spot. It was
Ooh.
Rhodey. Rhodey was the one. There you go.
All right, let's get these guys on the road for race 2, shall we? As we see also the Ford GT behind him out of position.
Of Brian
Brian
Walsh.
Walsh, yep. Someone must be out of position. We're still waiting. Oh, here we go. And we're away with race 2. Very even. Whoa! We have someone not getting in off the line. I think that. Who was that in the.
Is Luke Joyner.
Luke Joyner not getting anywhere. But Steve Bolger again, 2 from 2. But behind him
He's
going
away.
2 wide. Cracker and Ushrit Mishra.
So this will be pretty tetchy as we come down towards turns 2 and 3.
Oh,
there's
Rhodey!
There's a matcher off in the background. That is Rhodey. And he's swung back onto the track, but the top group has already pulled away as they come down towards turn 3. And look at how far Lewis Wedding's up already. He's already up into, looks like 7th place as they come through turn 3.
Yep. That'll reckon, yeah, 9th place already. So that was
Side-by-side action between Termo and Matt Cecil for the Class B lead, because Will Devenish didn't get off the line all that well either.
no.
Actually, it was Will Devenish who didn't get anywhere.
Oh,
He's down in 12th.
That's what happened there. He just missed his clutch as you see 2 wide between Higo and the 51 of Luke Joyner. Oh, no, it's Termo. Sorry, that's Termo.
Very close here between that group. And Higo's got the blockers on already, but Termo's done a great job to get around him as they come into the little dogleg, into that hairpin.
Of
No,
course,
that is the hairpin.
Yeah, of course, that's the Higo in the higher class car. So, but it
Termo's
goes,
really making him work for it. Look at this.
that's some slipstream benefit right there. But the top end of the Nathan Higginson machine. No, of course, the corner goes left here. So Termo's going to get the move done and up into 5th place.
Oh, done, Termo.
That was very well done by Termo. That's how you pass a higher class car.
Or just sneaks off track, gets back on track.
Whoa!
nicely.
Behind him, Luke Joyner into the Armco at a high rate of speed.
And everyone bowls a wide down there at the corner. Termo especially goes wide, as does Lewis Wedding. He drops from about 6th all the way down to 10th in the SEFAC Ferrari SPA 512. And he comes through the inside on the Class C leader, Mike Coulston. Actually, not the leader, sorry. There is Cam Rutledge just ahead. It's hard to keep track of multi-class. It's hard work.
Yeah. He's got the lights full of blaze as he goes round, or tries to go up around Luke Joyner, but he's actually shipped the place back to the Saudi Camel.
He's not had his work cut out for, or he's had his work cut out for him so far, as Higo and Termo are at it again through the final section of corners.
Yeah, I don't know if he's actually got it to grips with his car yet. He's running very wide a lot of places.
Who is this you're talking about?
Lewis Wedding.
Oh, well, we saw Lion Mitch struggle with the car especially. It wouldn't surprise me. There's a lot of power for how little weight they have, as they all file onto the main curve, basically. And it's Steve Bolger, once again, who's taking the lead. But
Mike Colston's gone!
Mike Colston! He's gone. He's almost taking out Joyner as well as they go side by side. Look at Higginson and Termo for 5th and 6th as they fire through turn 1.
Oh, and the camera went Coco Bananas at the wrong time there, but holy cow, Saudi Camel got that. Mike Colston got that all wrong.
All wrong.
Who was that? Who was that in the blue car? Ushrit Mishra. It went across the screen like a bat out of hell.
It's all going on at the moment. There was also side-by-side contact between Will Devenish and Lewis Wedding as they file past the Singapore Airlines machine.
Hans and chat too big of a dip. Yep. All right.
Classic Hans. Hans, when are you going to get out and drive one of these? We got to see the Ecurie Brunswick mobile.
There's, after all of that, Steve Bolger 1.8 seconds in front of Cracker. who's ahead of Matt Cecil, is in third place in the leading B-class car at the moment.
Wow. He's kept his nose clean very nicely there to sit just under 5 seconds away from the second place cracker.
How is Higo in fourth?
Go ahead, sorry.
How is Higo in fourth?
I am struggling to understand that as well. He's been battling with Turmo. Turmo has kept him very honest through the middle sector and was fully inside the gearbox of the Lola coming down the main straight while we were watching Mike Coulston become a flying camel. Again. But Turmo's got the eyes on here, and he's almost got it sideways coming through that corner there.
And Higo, it's actually been quite defensive from Higo as well, which is against a lower class car. You wouldn't necessarily expect. And we're too wide at the back between a B C class car of, who was that? Devonish and Rutledge.
Devonish, of course, coming through the field after his great start. Rutledge holding that position. Ujo Mishra just behind has actually gotten back past Lewis Wedding, so Wedding's struggling with his Ferrari. A lot of power with these small cars, so it's not super easy to just step in. It seems. And look at this, Turmo trying to go around the outside of Higginson as they come through to the final section, and that's brought Devonish right onto the back of this group as they come up towards the main straight.
All in a bit of a cluster, and third place of Matty Cecil's not far ahead of them either.
Could become a four-way battle for third in a second, as Higginson really didn't get a good run off that corner, but that little wiggle for Turmo is going to put pay to his chances, I think. Devonish is looming very, very large in the background here, as we have a group of three here, and then just behind it's Ujit Mishra and Cam Rutledge. He's pulling away from Cam, but this is where the intrigue is. They cross the line. It's 2 tenths down between each of them as they fly through turn one. A wide line from Turmo there.
Yeah, I think he was being polite to Will Devonish, and Devonish has actually got the move done. Can Turmo use the slipstream to get back through turn 3, though? That's the question.
Higginson's going a little defensive there, trying to break the toe as they swap and slide down the back straight. Will's following, though. Will's chasing him as they go towards turn 3.
On the brakes now, and it looks like, yep, minus turn and no changes there.
Yet, we have seen how strong the Class B cars have been through the middle sector as Higginson clatters the curb there.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Devonish. The moves on.
And here comes Will.
Yep, moves on here down the inside of the hairpin. No, not the hairpin. That was the kink. I got my corners wrong.
It is the hairpin, yeah. It's the little dog leg. This group's really tightening up, and it's really cool to see Higginson, who's still relatively new to actually racing these in this series and in this group rather, fight it out with Will Devonish, one of the most established drivers in AMS Oz. Well, the racing group formerly known as AMS Oz. That's a habit we're going to have to try and break our way out of. Yes.
As we see,
he's in the slipstream here.
Yeah, getting the slipstream down the inside. That's a very fast corner to go too wide through, lads, and he can't hold it there. No, he can't.
What?
Oh, jeez.
Still very tight.
That was...
I think...
but
behind the curve. Devo, he holds it.
Sorry, Higo's also going off. And the beneficiary here might be Turmo.
Could be, as they all lock wheels and bump rims, and it's all happening here. I think what we're seeing is the midgets having that extra luxuries. We've got a yellow flag, and it's Cam Rutledge. Cam Rutledge and Ujit Mishra have come to grief behind him, and Ujit's gone around again. Okay,
let's put that bad boy up on replay. Let's see what on earth happened there. I can't put it up on replay because I pushed the wrong button at the start of the race.
Oh, bro. Cam's actually at fault for that one. He come in way too hot, tagged the rear of the Class A the Ferrari 512 rather, and actually spun him around. So not a great, and he's actually sitting up and waiting for Ujit as well. So well done, Cam. Good team play. Being a good sport. Even though that.
Whoa! Sorry to bring up. Higo's gone. Higo has just got clattered and gone way off to the inside of the track, coming out of one of the slow corners, and it's given the Ferraris a chance to pull away.
Unlucky there for Higo, just a little bit too much power at the wrong time, as the fastest lap of the race goes to Steve Bolger, unsurprisingly, a 3:02.1. So of course, with the server reset between the two races, track's lost a little bit of grip, which means that Bolger might not get his 3 flat, which would be real sad to see. I'd love to see him get a 3 flat.
We need to talk about it in the post race, didn't he?
Yeah, this is true. He was aiming for it.
Tell you what, Cracker's not exactly going away. I don't know whether that's Steve Bolger managing pace or Cracker's on it, but he's only 4 seconds behind compared to previous race.
Certainly not as big as some gaps we've seen in TCAC history. As I've still got eyes on Will Devonish and Termo, because they're still bumping and barging on their way through to turn 3. And they're not too far away from Matt Cecil either, and that's the top 3 in Class B, let's not forget.
Yeah, absolutely. Should mention Class C. We haven't really talked about Class C for a while. It's currently Cam Rutledge leading Class C, a few seconds ahead of up the road from Rhodey in second. So, again, good job from Rhodey.
He's holding in there, but remember Cam did stop for quite a long time to let Ujit retake that position. So, that's Lachlan Bork, who's gone well over the curve there.
And Brian Walsh did the same thing.
Back on track, yes, he has.
He has indeed. He's coming behind Mike Colston in the Camel Toe Racing Machine.
What a name!
I realised what I just said.
You got to check yourself in this series, Kiwi. You can't just be spouting names like that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, as Cracker's actually just had a little bit of a moment. Coming out of one of the long sweeping right-handers, of which there are many. Just got to wheel up on the curb and just pulled him a little wide. Managed to just get back on track just in time.
Excellent. Field's somewhat more spread out this race. I think there was a sum of what happened at the start of the race, with cars not going anywhere and cars going 4 wide to the parts they shouldn't, cars going sideways.
We've seen this a few times. We kind of get into a little bit of a settling period with TCAC, where it all goes a bit haywire to start with, and then people actually remember their brains, or what little part of their brains that they still have.
Yeah.
Closest battle on track is... Oh, you were about to say something about Lewis Wedding?
I was going to say he's up in the 7th place currently.
I was about to say closest battle on track is Ujit Mishra and Luke Joyner, and they were very close a moment ago. In fact, they made contact side to side through the mid-corner. And in fact, Ujit has just given that back to Luke, and then takes it back again.
And they make contact again. Oh, that was rather violent.
A little more substantial, sure.
Yeah. And Ujit now takes off. A contact like that, you would think Luke Joyner's copped a little bit of damage from that, surely.
Possibly. I am not sure whether or not damage is turned on in this series, so that is something that we may have to check. Wouldn't like to see wheels popping off or anything like that. But
no, we saw enough of that in real life with these cars.
Yeah, exactly. I've got eyes on Mike Coulston and Rhodey as they come onto the main straight.
Well, I've got eyes on Matty Cecil, who's gone wide out of 2, and that's going to give the Ferraris a chance to get past, and Will Devonish has done so. And D-Tech goes up to 3rd place in B-Class lead.
Oh, so what happened there? I was looking further down.
He just got wide out of 2.
It's a little too greedy, Matt Cecil. And he's almost happened again. Well, Will was the more greedy one that time around.
Matty Cecil not able to make much of it this time with those beautiful yellow lights. I wish Le Mans these days still had the yellow lights on the lower class cars.
Yeah, it is a little annoying. I do agree.
Whoa, Matty Cecil's gone. Oh, too much curb, and there he goes.
It was just a lazy little spin. Yeah, you're exactly right. Just brought the power up a little too early, took a little too much of the curve on the exit, and yeah, before he could grab it, away he goes. So he's down into 5th now. He has Nathan Higginson for company, and short company it will be because he goes just about to power past. No, he doesn't. Cecil does a great job on the exit of that corner to get the run to keep his position.
I was going to say, you say that he took too much curb. You don't really want to take any curb here.
Oh well, you don't really want to be taking any curb at all in these cars. I don't think. I think especially in the midgets format, I think they're a little too highly sprung to be taking liberties with track limits too often.
Absolutely are. So with 5.5 minutes to go, where are we at? C-Class battle Cam Rutledge has now got Lachlan Burke between him and Mike Coulson. So Roddy's had a bit of an issue. And is now actually back in the 13th. So let's go back up to the front. Steve Bolger now put out the lead up to 7 seconds. Looking like he'll make it 2 from 2 from this point. As he just comes around to the uphill bit to finish the lap. Probably 3 more laps to go.
To actually just take a little bit of a snapshot, as I'm showing a yellow flag on my screen, and it's Turmo. Turmo's gone around at the exit of one of the slower corners, the exit of Cortavello, and he's gone around again, and he's dropped 2 positions. He's dropped positions to Matt Cecil and Nathan Higginson.
Too much gas, I'm guessing?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I've just caught it on the very tail end of the replay. Got a little excited there, and yeah, just fought through the gas. Exactly what we saw Will Devenish do, exactly what we saw Nathan Higginson do, exactly what we saw Liam Mitch do again and again and again. Doesn't take much for these cars to get loose in the rear end.
Yep. So we'll watch Steve Bolger come through turn 2 now. Oh, if I pushed the wrong button, that was smart. There we go. So let's watch it from here. So he's just currently come through. Well, this is a cool camera. Big gap behind a cracker as we just settled in behind one of the lakes. Now we've got a...
That is a cool camera spot. I'm going to try and find that camera.
Yeah, there's a massive gap back to Will Devenish in 3rd place. Here we go. Yep, just coming through. This is turn 3 here. We're located. So this is the second of the 2 lakes. Matty Cecil in 4th, B-class leader. And there's Nathan Higginson in 5th. Turmo is in 6th place there, is second in class. And there's Lewis Wedding, aka Klaus Orak. Ushrat Mishra, after his incident early in the race, down in 8th. Bit more clear track as we wait for Luke Joyner to come across. There he goes. On a bit of a recovery mission. And here's Cam Rutledge, C-class leader in 10th, closely followed by Lockie Burke and Mike Coulston.
That's a pretty invigorated battle at the moment.
We'll get eyes back on that one in a moment. And there's Walshy. And a few seconds back will be Rhodey just coming across in the Matra. No, he's not coming across in the Matra. He's crashing in the Matra. Thanks, Rhodey.
Classic Rhodey.
All right, let's go back to
and we have a change for C-class lead. Well done, Mike Coulston. Oh, you have to go back and have a quick replay of that, but there might not be time because he's on the tail of Lachlan Bork as they come out of that hairpin. But Bork starts to peel away. Audacious move by Coulston there. He used Bork overtaking Rutledge as a bit of a pick to sweep around the outside at the hairpin and kind of shut the door on Rutledge as he was trying to bring the power back up.
And he's gapped him by a good half a second now as well.
And he's just using that slipstream from the Ford GT really nicely as they come through towards the infield part of the circuit. I'm still trying to get my head around. I think this is Estacionamiento. Oh, as there goes Lachlan Bork.
Ooh, Lachlan Bork is balking Saudi Camel a bit there. And that's going to give Cam Rutledge a chance to fight back.
And this is the beauty of having closely matched classes, is that there's enough going on in the overall to really make the class battles matter and really affect each of the class battles. It's really good to see.
I was going to go up to see a battle between Nathan Higginson and Ushrat Mishra, but Ushrat Mishra is just retired from the race.
Oh no! And that looks like a disconnect.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just gone straight away. Oh no, not. Oh, he had this problem with the Bathurst V8 races last year with the 500 and the 1000.
We just saw Mike Coulston I don't know if he got pushed wide or scared wide as he was trying to go around the Ford GT40 ahead of him. And he's actually dropped back behind him. Still well ahead of his C-Class competitor. But with time about to run out, we've got maybe, 2 laps left for these guys?
Yes, because it'll be this lap that they're on, plus 1 more. So, Bolger, where is Bolger on track at the moment? He's just going past one of the lakes. That looks like he's in Subida do Lago, so between the lakes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that's what that
Oh,
means.
Steve Bolger just had a minor moment there. Grazed a little bit of the Armco coming out of it, out of Subida do Lago. Lagos? I started speaking Italian. That's definitely not right.
Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, all the same thing, right? How many, just check that off. How many cultures did I offend in that one sentence?
About as many as I did last podcast we did. So, 11.5 seconds. So he's actually really pulled away from Cracker towards the end of this race. So I do wonder if he was just taking it easy, making life easy on the tyres and just going, right, let's chase this 3-minute lap.
Which unfortunately he hasn't gotten close to. I think the track conditions with that a little bit less rubber have not been conducive. His best lap has been a 3:02.1, so not quite where he would have loved to have been.
And there's Cracker in second, sort of in no man's land, 12 seconds ahead, 10 seconds behind. So he'll just cruise on there, take a nice comfortable second place, you'd think. And our top B-class run at the moment, Will Devonish.
Yeah, somehow recovering after that awful start, has managed to find his way all the way back into 3rd place overall. So, well done, Will.
Yeah. Going down to 7th place. Oh, sorry, you go.
Just quickly, how content do you think will be with taking class victories? Do you think that'll be enough for him?
No.
No?
No. He'll want to win. Outright. And based on the pace he's shown tonight, he could do it at some tracks we go to. Like, if he gets in front at places like
Brands
Macau, how is traffic going to work there?
Badly. Whoa, as Lewis Wedding spins it around.
All on his lonesome. Got it going, no harm, no foul. Going back, there was a bit of a battle between Lockie Burke and Luke Joyner eventuating, but Luke Joyner's pulled away now. And that was a class battle as well. In the Big Mate sponsored GT40.
That sentence should not exist, but it does.
It does. Steve Bolger has now started the last lap. He's actually coming through turn 3 now on the last lap.
He's done well, has the Bulge. He's really turned a corner in his sim racing career after last year. I think the GT3 series was a real breakout series for him, and took his first win in that, and then went on to take his first championship. And since then, he's been a upfront competitor in most of the series that we see him in.
Yeah. We saw a bit of a battle between the C-Class cars of Rhodey and Cam Rutledge. A battle / Rhodey running wide.
And running wide again, running straight into the wall, in fact, this time around for Rhodey.
Yep. Rhodey, not Grassy.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yes, it is. Okay.
That's so bad.
So let's focus on Steve Bolger coming onto the infield loop around the first lake. Basically going backwards to where the center S would be nowadays. Ooh.
I'm going to interrupt you. Cracker's down in 3rd.
Ooh,
He's had a big lose. He's had a huge lose down through, I think that is turn 5, the hairpin. So he's just come out of that and gotten on the curb that sent towards the inside, and he's had a big lose and a big moment there, and Will Devonish has actually gotten past him.
Oh boy. Is that going to put a B-Class car into 2nd place?
Late drama here at Interlagos for TCAC Le Mans Midgets.
As we see Steve Bolger now into the last sector. The modern sector that we know.
The modern last sector.
Yeah. Coming through, again, faultless performance. Absolutely through the slowest corner of the track, the slow hairpin. I forget the name of.
Cotovelo.
Cotovelo.
You know what we should do to celebrate this, Kiwi? We should jump on board and listen to this beautiful V10 at work. Flat 10, rather.
You're the boss.
Oh, what a beautiful sounding engine.
Oh, that is something else. As he goes flat up to the line. Ooh. And it goes across.
Incredible.
And great win for Steve Bolger. Perfect night for him. Pole, 2 race wins, fastest lap, 23 seconds ahead of Will Devonish, who's just coming up the hill now. Will Devonish would be happy enough with that in the end.
Yeah, it's after missing the start the way he did, I reckon second is a good night's return. And I also have to apologise to not only myself but every other Porsche fan out there. Of course, it's a flat 12, not a flat 10, and I'm an idiot.
You and your Porsches. We're about to see Cracker just come across the line. As I caught Steve Bolger going skyward in his car. Rhodey and Cam Rutledge are actually in a bit of a battle for last place. And
Matt Sessel's just come across the line in 4th.
Yep. And here comes Turmo in 5th place. So he's going to take 3rd in class. And here comes Lewis Wedding Cloud Aurak.
Oh, we're gonna jump to 8th and 9th because it's Saudi Camel versus Nathan Higginson as they come up to the line. And it looks like Higo's got a great run out of that final complex.
Well, that's
he might just steal it.
Well, that's 2 classes different there. So the power difference is just going to take away.
Yeah.
And there he goes. 9th place for the Saudi Camel. That's going to be a C-Class victory just ahead of Luke Joyner. Here comes Brian Walsh in the 11th place in the GT40. And bringing up the field will be Cam Rutledge and Rhodey, who have actually been in a bit of a battle race in the mattress. And Cam Rutledge is going to prevail there. And on 1 DNF for tonight, unfortunately, Ushra Mishra. But that's race 2 done and dusted.
And what a good race it was. We had action. We had a few spins. We had late drama for the likes of Cracker, and some very close battles in and around classes. And it looks like we've just had a Matra demolition derby at the exit of turn 2 as well, just for good measure.
End of night shenanigans.
Pardon?
End of night shenanigans. Don't you love it?
The best kind of shenanigans. Someone who managed to avoid all the shenanigans tonight was Steve Bolger. Steve, congratulations on a perfect night.
Floody, pretty good.
Yeah, that's all we had to say. It was a pretty good night. The only thing you missed out on was the 3-minute lap. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done that second race. Was that just the track condition changing between sessions?
It was a big part. I don't think I got below a 3:02 in that one, but certainly wasn't rubbered in as much. So was the goal, but anyway, next time.
We'll save it for next time. A great start to the championship for you in this series. What are you expecting from this series and these cars going forward? We've got I think it's a 10-round championship, a split between endurance and sprint formats. We've got our first endurance format next time out. What do you look forward to? What about this are you looking forward to?
I love the endurance ones. Bit of strategy in there. Can't say I'm looking forward to having a bit of weight added into the boot for that race, but we'll see how it goes.
And because that's going to be at Monza as well, so that weight is going to feel like an absolute anchor, isn't it?
Well, we'll see if we can get some slipstreaming happening there, or Monza's been good to me in the past in other series, so we'll see if we can do something special.
Yes, it certainly has been. Well, you brought this upon yourself with 2 outstanding performances tonight. Congratulations on a perfect night, and hope it's a good omen for this championship to come.
Cheers, boys. Been a good one.
Congratulations. Second place overall and our Class B winner for the second race tonight, Will Devonish. Welcome to the winner's stand, Will. Before we get into it proper, what happened at the start?
I did the formation lap in 5th gear and then forgot to change down to first. So
Brilliant. But apart from that, you had a pretty good night after that, all things considered. A nice little battle with first Lewis Wedding, and then your teammate Turmo, and then Nathan Higginson in that as well. And then all of a sudden you popped out in second place.
Yeah, it was. Can't really complain. Bit shattered for Cracker for spinning it on that last lap, but yeah, little B class car is the car that could, I think, at the moment.
So I asked this question to Chris on broadcast, and I'll ask you now, seeing as we got you here. Are you satisfied with the Class B victory? Is that going to be enough to keep you warm at night?
Yeah, of course.
You're not going to try for overalls?
To be honest, I think at the twistier tracks, something like Macau, I think we're in for a good shot. Even though the Class A's are theoretically lighter and got more power, something about the B's and C's just seem to be able to turn a bit better and power out of corners. So I think they're in for a real hot crack at those sort of tracks.
So will we see you make an appearance on the overall championship podium at the end of the season, do you think?
Yeah, give it a shot.
Brilliant. Love to hear it. Just finally, first race in these cars competitively. Oh, give us your feedback. How do they feel? Are you excited for the season ahead?
Yeah, they actually really suit my driving style, so doesn't really matter which track we went to. I've been really competitive, and it sort of seems to be the case with anything rear-wheel drive and slow. I'm really good at, so yeah, happy with the development of them. Rhodey's put a lot of effort into making sure they're up to scratch for how he likes cars. So yeah, there's been a lot of work, and they feel great.
Nice. Glad to hear that, Will, and hope to see you on the winner's step of Class B plenty more throughout the season.
Thank you.
And we would have Mike Coulston, but unfortunately our Class C winner has encountered a work thing that he's had to step out to. So we've got instead Lachlan Bork. Lachlan, congratulations! Welcome to the commentary box.
Thank you.
So a little bit of a torrid race for you, a few off-track excursions. Just tell us how your race went, and yeah, how you're feeling about these cars.
Race 2 went a lot better than race 1. I figured out early on that it doesn't matter how much curb you use going up, but coming down, they tend to like to spin on you.
Yeah.
They're good cars. They're fun to drive.
How have you found the multi-class aspect? You're running a Class B car. You're running the GT40. You were in a bit of a tussle with Mike Coulston and Cam Rutledge for a little while there. Class C cars. Are you enjoying that multi-class aspect?
Yeah, I reckon the multi-class aspect is really good and really well executed.
Yeah, we're really enjoying seeing those little battles. Do you reckon you might be able to show up a few of the Class A guys if they make a few mistakes?
Maybe. Just depends if I get my setups right or not.
Awesome. And yeah, how do you feel about the cars just on the whole? Brand new championship, brand new season. Yeah, brand new mod. Give us your thoughts.
I reckon they're really good cars to drive. They're stable, but you can tell when they're on the limit, and when you're on the limit, they become really sketchy but fun at the same time.
Nice, and that's the word we love to hear. We love to hear that they're fun to drive. Yeah, congratulations on the night's racing, and we hope to see you on the podium in the future.
Thank you.
So that was the first race, the first evening of racing for Le Mans Midgets TCAC, and Chris, oh what a night!
Yeah. December 1963, indeed.
Yes, you got it. You got it.
Yes.
I'm with you.
But no, I think we learnt a lot tonight. The inter and intra-class battles are going to be intense. It's not going to take much for a lower class car to get a good result overall. And at some of the tristier tracks, like Devo actually said there, those lower class cars, they're in with a shout.
They really are, and I think it's very interesting considering that we're using a lot of older circuits, which tend to be really, really wide, like Interlagos here. Combining that with the dimensions of the midgets has really given people a lot of freedom in their lines and their lengths and their moves and their battles. So I'm excited to see what some of the other tracks hold for us. but I am especially excited to see what we get at some of the more tighter, twistier tracks. So I reckon that will turn on an absolute show.
Oh, can't wait. Absolutely cannot wait. On that note, anything else you want to add before we sign off for this evening?
I think we'll just make the note that we will be back next week, not in a fortnight's time. It will be next week with the first of the endurance rounds. So again, we'll see you on the Endurance Chat YouTube page, and we'll be posting all of our links to Australasian Sim Racing. So we'll see you, next week.
Indeed.
Monza, don't forget it.
Don't forget it, yeah, Monza Florio. So the combination of the Monza we know and love-ish, and the banking. And that's going to be a fun time for all.
I'm keen. I'm super keen
so
to see
keen.
these cars in the ranking.
So we should say thank you as well to
Netherrealmian.
Netherrealmian.
It's only been 3 seasons, Kiwi. Come on.
It's also 10:54 at night. Oh, I can leave home in an hour.
Nice.
Yeah, so thank you to him for all his graphics work. He's put this together for us. Every season we've done a series of OZTCAC racing, and thank you as well to everyone involved in the mod, and thank you to Brock and Rhodey especially, who did a lot of work behind the scenes. And of course, Michael, thank you very much for joining me this evening.
Problems. Thank you very much for hosting, Kiwi, and hopefully your internet gremlins get sorted out very shortly.
Oh, that'd be
And
nice.
yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait for next week. Can't wait for more of this.
Yeah, I did panic for a second that I forgot a bill, but no, we're fine. So anyway, we'll see you guys the same time next week for round 2 at Monza. Till then, that's Michael Zalavari. I'm Chris Riddell. We'll see you then.
Peace out.